Welcome to Top 10 Learning Lessons from Atomic Habits, a powerful book by James Clear that reveals how tiny daily actions can create massive, lasting change. In this summary, you'll discover practical lessons to build better habits, break bad ones, and become the best version of yourself, one small step at a time. Let's begin. Seedling. Lesson 1. Small habits create big change. Most people think success comes from one big move. But in reality, real success is built from hundreds of small, almost invisible habits. Every single day, the choices you make, what you eat, how you think, whether you scroll or read, they all add up like small drops filling a bucket. At first, you don't notice anything changing. But over time, those tiny actions create massive transformation. James Clear calls this the 1% rule. If you get just 1% better each day, you'll be 37 times better after 1 year. That's the power of compounding. The same principle that grows money in a bank also grows your habits. Think about brushing your teeth. One day doesn't change anything, but skipping it for months? You'll definitely see the damage. Habits work the same way. Improvement or decline. Both are invisible in the short term, but unstoppable in the long term. Let's say you decide to read 1 page daily. That's 365 pages in a year, a full book, without ever feeling pressure. Or if you save just $1 every day, that's over $350 by the end of the year. Small, but it proves consistency. So, stop chasing overnight success. Focus on doing the small things right, today and again tomorrow. Because big change isn't built in a day. It's built in the daily repetition of tiny habits. Headphone remember, small habits don't add up, they compound. Lesson 2. Identity is greater than motivation. Motivation comes and goes, but identity stays. James Clear says that if you truly want to change your habits, you have to change the way you see yourself first. Most people say things like, I want to lose weight. I want to quit smoking. I want to be productive. But these are goals, not identities. Real transformation happens when you shift your focus from what you want to achieve to who you want to become. Say instead, I am a healthy person. I am a non-smoker. I am a focused individual. When your actions are aligned with your identity, habits become natural instead of forced. Every small action you take is like a vote for the type of person you wish to become. Every time you work out, read a page, or meditate, you're proving that identity to yourself. Think of 2 people trying to quit smoking. The first says, no thanks, I'm trying to quit. The second says, no thanks, I don't smoke. The difference is subtle, but powerful. The second person has already built a new identity, and their behavior naturally follows that belief. So stop chasing motivation, it fades. Instead, build an identity that pulls you forward. Because once you believe something about yourself, your habits will start to match that belief automatically. Remember, the goal isn't to read a book. The goal is to become a reader. The goal isn't to run a marathon. The goal is to become a runner. Lesson 3. The 2-minute rule. We often fail to build new habits not because they're hard, but because we try to do too much, too soon. That's where James Clear's 2-minute rule comes in. The rule is simple. When you start a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to do. Why? Because the hardest part of any habit is getting started. The 2-minute rule is not about doing everything perfectly. It's about creating a version of your habit that's so easy. Your brain can't say no. Want to run every morning? Just put on your running shoes. Want to read more? Read 1 page. Want to meditate? Sit down and take 2 deep breaths. When you master the art of starting, you remove the mental resistance that keeps you stuck. Think of it like this. Once you put on your workout shoes, there's a high chance you'll actually go for the workout. Once you open your book, you'll probably read more than 1 page. The 2-minute rule tricks your brain into action because starting small feels effortless, and action builds momentum. So, when building a new habit, don't aim for perfect, aim for possible. Start small enough that it feels almost too easy, because once you start, you're already halfway there. Remember, you can't improve a habit that doesn't exist, so just start. Lesson 4. Environment shapes behavior. We like to believe that success depends on willpower, but in truth, your environment shapes your behavior far more than motivation ever can. James Clear says, you don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. And your environment is the biggest system that silently controls your habits. Every cue around you triggers a certain behavior. If your phone is beside you, you'll check it. If a cookie jar is on the counter, you'll eat it. If your book is on the pillow, you'll read before bed. That's why building better habits isn't just about discipline. It's about designing your surroundings to make good choices easy and bad ones hard. Want to eat healthy? Keep fruits visible and hide junk food. Want to study more? Keep your desk clean and distraction-free. Want to work out? Pack your gym bag the night before. When your environment supports your goals, your habits start to happen automatically, without effort. Think about it. If you walk into a room and see a TV remote, you'll think of watching something. But if you see a book on your desk, you'll think of reading. Your surroundings constantly whisper suggestions, and your brain simply follows the easiest one. So, don't depend on willpower every day. Instead, build an environment that pulls you toward good habits and away from bad ones. Because when you design your space right, discipline becomes automatic. Remember, you don't need more motivation, you need a better environment. Lesson 5. Forget goals, build systems. Everyone talks about setting goals. We set goals to lose weight, make money, or learn new skills. But James Clear says, goals don't determine success, systems do. Because goals are about the results you want, while systems are about the process that actually gets you there. Here's the problem with goals. They give you direction, but they don't tell you what to do every day. A system, on the other hand, is the daily routine that moves you forward, even when motivation fades. For example, your goal might be to write a book. Your system is to write 1 page every day. Your goal might be to lose 5 kilos. Your system is to eat healthy meals and work out consistently. Goals are the destination, but systems are the vehicle that actually gets you there. Think about athletes. Every player wants to win the championship, but only those who build strong training systems actually do. If you completely forget your goal and just focus on following your system, success becomes the natural outcome. You stop chasing results and start living the process. So stop obsessing over where you want to be. Start focusing on what you need to do today. Because goals set the direction, but systems create progress. Remember, you do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Lesson 6. Habits follow a loop. Every habit you have, good or bad, follows the same pattern. It's called the habit loop. Understanding this simple loop gives you the power to build better habits and break the ones that hold you back. James Clear explains that every habit has 4 stages: cue, craving, response, and reward. Let's break it down. The cue is the trigger, something that reminds your brain to start a behavior. The craving is the desire, the feeling that pushes you to take action. The response is the actual habit, what you do. And the reward is what you get from it, the satisfaction or relief that teaches your brain to repeat the habit again. This cycle repeats itself again and again, until the habit becomes automatic. For example, you see your phone light up, cue, you feel curious, craving, you check the notification, response, you feel satisfied, reward. That simple loop trains your brain. Next time I'm bored, check my phone. Now imagine replacing that with something better. You feel stressed, cue, you crave peace, craving, you take a deep breath or journal, response, you feel calm, reward. You've just built a healthier habit loop. So, every habit in your life is a loop waiting to be redesigned. If you want to change the result, change the cues and rewards that create it. Remember, you don't eliminate old habits. You replace them by building better loops. Lesson 7. Track your progress. What gets measured, gets improved. James Clear says one of the most powerful ways to build better habits is to track your progress, because what you see, you can change. Tracking isn't about perfection. It's about awareness. When you track your habits, you give your brain visual proof that you're improving. And that's one of the strongest forms of motivation. Our minds are wired to crave visible progress. When you see your growth, even in small steps, your motivation naturally increases. It's not about judging yourself. It's about learning what's really working. The moment you start recording your habits, whether in a notebook, an app, or a simple calendar, you turn invisible effort into visible evidence. And that makes your progress feel real. Each check mark or tick tells your brain, yes, I'm moving forward. That small sense of achievement releases dopamine. And that little spark keeps you coming back every day. Think of it like this. If you're building a reading habit, mark an X on your calendar every day you read. After a week, you'll see a chain of X's. And you'll do everything you can to keep that streak alive. It's not the number that matters. It's the momentum that grows with every mark. So, track your progress, no matter how small. Because small wins lead to big victories. Remember, what you measure, you manage. And what you manage, you improve. Lesson 8. Never miss twice. Nobody is perfect, and that's okay. We all miss a day, skip a workout, or fall off track once in a while. But James Clear gives one simple rule to get back on track fast. Never miss twice. Missing once is a mistake. Missing twice becomes a habit. The never miss twice rule is about balance, not perfection. It reminds you that failure isn't the problem. Quitting is. When you skip something once, nothing really changes. But when you skip it again, you start creating the opposite habit, the habit of not showing up. So the key is simple. When you miss one day, make absolutely sure the next one counts. Let's say you plan to work out today, but got too busy. No problem. Just make sure you show up tomorrow, even if it's a shorter workout. Or maybe you didn't study today. Fine. Open your notes for 5 minutes tomorrow. It's not about being perfect every single day. It's about never letting one slip turn into two. Because consistency isn't built on perfection. It's built on recovery. So, don't beat yourself up for missing a day. Instead, focus on your comeback. Get back on track faster than you fell off. Remember, a bad day doesn't break your habit, but 2 in a row might. Lesson 9. Don't break the chain. Success isn't built in a day. It's built day by day. One of the most powerful methods James Clear talks about is called Don't Break the Chain. It's a simple visual way to stay consistent with your habits. And it works because it keeps your progress visible. Here's how it works. Every time you complete your habit, whether it's reading, working out, or journaling, mark an X on your calendar. Soon, you'll see a growing chain of X's. And once you see that chain, you'll do everything you can not to break it. That visual streak acts like motivation you can see. It reminds you that progress is being made, even when the results aren't visible yet. The real power of this method is psychological. Your brain hates losing streaks. So once you've built one, you'll naturally want to keep it going. Think of it like this. You read 1 page today, that's 1 X. You read again tomorrow, 2 X's. A week later, you've got a full chain. Now, if one day you don't feel like reading, you'll remember that long, beautiful streak. And that'll be enough to push you to do it anyway. Small actions create big momentum. And momentum is what keeps you consistent. So, whatever your habit is, mark it, track it, and protect your streak. Because once you've built that chain of progress, your only goal is simple. Don't break the chain. Lesson 10. Be patient. Results come later. We live in a world that loves quick results. Instant success, instant growth, instant everything. But real change doesn't happen that way. James Clear reminds us that habits are like compounding interest for self-improvement. The results may not show today, but they're quietly building beneath the surface. Every small action you take compounds over time. Just like money multiplies with interest, your habits multiply with consistency. The problem is, most people quit too early. They expect big results from small efforts, instantly. But in truth, there's always a valley of disappointment. It's the gap between what you expect and what you see. Most people give up there. But those who stay consistent, they eventually break through. Because success doesn't happen overnight. It happens gradually, and then suddenly. Think of an ice cube sitting in a cold room. You raise the temperature from 25 degrees to 26 degrees, to 27 degrees, to 28 degrees. But nothing seems to happen. Then, suddenly at 32 degrees, the ice starts to melt. All those tiny changes before that moment, they weren't wasted, they were building momentum. That's exactly how your habits work. You might not see progress yet, but that doesn't mean it's not happening. So keep showing up. Keep trusting the process. Because patience is not about waiting. It's about believing that your efforts are adding up, even when the results are invisible. Remember, first it's slow, then it's sudden. Stay consistent. Your breakthrough is on its way.